Have you ever wondered what secrets history has buried? We all know about Rome, Greece, and Egypt, but what about the empires that time forgot? These aren't just footnotes in a dusty old book. They were sprawling, powerful civilizations that shaped our world in ways we're only just beginning to understand. Today, we're embarking on a journey to resurrect these lost giants, to uncover the stories of the forgotten empires. Our first stop takes us to the arid coast of modern-day Peru, long before the Inca built Machu Picchu. Here, around 100 AD, a civilization known as the Mocha rose to prominence. The Mocha weren't a unified empire in the way we think of Rome, but rather a collection of city-states that shared a vibrant and sometimes terrifying culture. They were master craftsmen. Their pottery is so realistic, it's like a photograph from the past, showing us detailed scenes of daily life, of hunting, weaving, and complex rituals. They were also incredible metallurgists, creating exquisite works from gold, silver, and copper that would make any modern jeweler jealous. But the Mocha world had a dark side. Their art also depicts brutal warfare and ritual sacrifice. Archaeologists have found tombs filled with dismembered bodies, pointing to a society where violence and religion were deeply intertwined. One of the most incredible discoveries was the tomb of the Lord of Saipan, a Mocha ruler buried with immense wealth, and several other people, including women, a child, and even a dog, all meant to accompany him to the afterlife. It was a discovery on par with King Tut's tomb, completely changing our understanding of pre-Inca culture. So why did they disappear around 800 AD? The leading theory points to a catastrophic climate event, a mega El Niño that brought decades of intense flooding followed by crippling droughts. It was a perfect storm of environmental collapse that their society just couldn't survive. Now, let's journey across the world to Southeast Asia, to the jungles of Cambodia. Here, from the 9th to the 15th centuries, the Khmer Empire reigned supreme. And at its heart was the magnificent city of Angkor. You've probably seen pictures of Angkor Wat, the world's largest religious monument, but that is just one part of a sprawling urban complex that was home to nearly 1 million people. At its peak, Angkor was the most extensive urban settlement of the pre-industrial world, a mega-city that dwarfed London or Paris at the time. The Khmer were brilliant engineers. They built a massive and intricate water management system of canals, reservoirs, and moats. This hydraulic city allowed them to control the monsoon rains, storing water for the dry season and enabling them to harvest rice multiple times a year. This agricultural surplus was the engine of their empire, funding the construction of their breathtaking temples and fueling their military might. The empire stretched across modern-day Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam, but like the Mocha, they fell. A combination of factors likely led to their decline. The constant strain of maintaining their massive waterworks, prolonged droughts linked to climate change, and increasing pressure from rival kingdoms like Ayutthaya from the west slowly chipped away at their power. The capital was eventually moved, and the jungle began its slow, silent reclamation of Angkor's magnificent stone temples. Let's head north now to the vast steppes of Central Asia, where a different kind of empire thrived. This wasn't an empire of cities and temples, but of nomads, horses, and open skies. I'm talking about the Scythians. Flourishing from about the 9th to the 2nd century BC, the Scythians were a confederation of fierce nomadic tribes who dominated a huge territory from the Black Sea all the way to the borders of China. They were the original horse lords. They practically lived on horseback, and their skill as mounted archers was legendary. The ancient Greeks, like the historian Herodotus, wrote about them with a mix of fear and fascination, describing them as unconquerable warriors. What's so incredible about the Scythians is what they left behind. Since they had no written language, our knowledge comes from their neighbors and, more importantly, from their burial mounds called kurgans. These frozen tombs in Siberia have preserved their culture in stunning detail. Archaeologists have found mummified chieftains covered in intricate tattoos of mythical beasts. They've unearthed lavish gold artifacts, detailed felt tapestries, and perfectly preserved clothing. These finds show a culture with a rich artistic tradition and a deep connection to the spiritual world. The Scythians eventually faded from history, pushed out by other migrating groups and absorbed into new cultures. But their legacy lived on, influencing everything from the art of the Celtic tribes to the military tactics of later empires. Our final destination takes us to Africa, to a kingdom that was a major player in the ancient world but is often overlooked. Welcome to the Kingdom of Axum, located in what is now modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. From around 100 to 940 AD, Axum was a commercial powerhouse, a crucial link in the trade routes connecting the Roman Empire with the riches of India and the Far East. They traded ivory, gold, spices, and frankincense, and their influence was so great that they even minted their own coins, a sign of their economic power and international standing. One of the most remarkable things about Axum is that it was one of the first major empires in the world to adopt Christianity as its state religion in the 4th century. This happened around the same time as the Roman Empire, creating a powerful Christian alliance across continents. The most iconic symbols of Axum's power are their massive stelae or obelisks. These are huge, single-piece granite towers carved to look like buildings with fake doors and windows. The largest one, the Great Stele, would have stood over 33 meters high and weighed over 500 tons, making it one of the largest single pieces of stone ever worked by humans. The decline of Axum is a bit of a mystery. It's thought that environmental degradation, over-farming, and a shift in global trade routes slowly isolated the kingdom, leading to its eventual fragmentation. From the Mocha potters of Peru and the Khmer hydrologists of Cambodia to the Scythian horse lords of the steppe and the Axumite traders of Africa, these forgotten empires were anything but footnotes. They were dynamic, innovative, and powerful societies that left an indelible mark on human history. Their stories are a powerful reminder that history is vast and full of wonders, and that there are always new secrets waiting to be rediscovered. They also serve as a cautionary tale, showing us how even the mightiest civilizations can fall victim to climate change, environmental mismanagement, and the relentless march of time. So the next time you think about the great empires of the past, I hope you'll remember the ones we talked about today. The forgotten ones, because their stories are just as important and just as fascinating as any you'll find in a history book. Thanks for joining me on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the past. See you next time.